Alright guys, in case you're wondering where I've been, so I've been working on a side project for the gaming channel that is a machinima for Star Citizen. That has been taking a lot of time, plus everybody just recently wants to talk about writing, and to be honest, I didn't want to. So yeah, I've been keeping an eye on it, and I might do a live stream in about 2 hours, hour and a half. And about an hour, actually. Let's do a live stream. Let's talk about the rioting. And we have got a lot to break down. But as a bit of an extra, apart from the live stream, we're going to talk about this. Because there's been a recent update that people might find interesting. So, some of you guys may remember the elderly man that was pushed to the ground by the Buffalo police. And he started bleeding from the back of his head. Right? Now, in case you're not familiar with the situation, if we refresh this video, it should show the guy. And here it is here. Oops, not that. So, here's the video here.
He is bleeding out of his ear. He's bleeding out of his ear. He's bleeding out of his ear.
Now, it's graphic, okay? No doubt about it. Police Buffalo was caught on video shoving a 75-year-old man to the ground, causing him to bleed or bang his head on the sidewalk and start bleeding from the back of his skull. The video shows the elderly man wearing a face mask walking up to a line of riot-clad police officers near the City Hall building soon after the curfew went into effect on Thursday. The officers shouted at the man to move back, and then one of them pushes him, causing him to stumble backwards, falling backwards and slamming his head into the pavement, according to the video. One of the cops then backs down to check him, but other officers pull him away and call for a medic. Now, he's bleeding out of his ears. A bystander shouts, "You better get an ambulance for him." Another voice can be heard, right? Now, the man was rushed to a nearby hospital and is in a serious but stable condition. Buffalo Mayor Brian Brown said that 2 officers who were involved in the incident have been suspended without pay. Now, which is where we're getting on to the next part of this video, right? So, obviously, 75 man pushed to the ground by Buffalo Push comes from a peace tradition. Okay, interesting. The 75-year-old Mrs. New York resident's goal at rallies and protests is to ask questions, bringing the community together and stand in solidarity for peace, friends and lawyers, said Friends Friday. But he was thrust in the national spotlight Thursday after he went to be pushed to the ground by Buffalo Police Department. Now, the interesting thing is that... Hang on a sec. Hang on. You guys ever want to get past this? What you do is refresh and just hit escape a whole bunch of times. So, Buffalo police officers suspended after a video shows them shoving a 75-year-old protester. 2 Buffalo police officers were suspended without pay Thursday after the video shows authority knocking down a 75-year-old man during a protest. Now, in a statement, Brown said the suspension came after the city's commissioner launched an investigation into the incident. Brown did not identify the officers. Right. So, it seems like they're looking into this, right? Well, a little bit of information's come out about this individual, and I would very much like to verify the information, but he's just literally blocked his whole Twitter account. He's privated his whole Twitter account. Now, the funny thing was that when I first found his account, it was public. Anybody could see it. And I was actually going through his timeline. And I was finding a little bit of Trump derangement syndrome there. He was going on about police dog attacking a protester. It looked like the police dog had it latched onto the protester's arm and it wasn't letting go, and the police were trying to pull it off. There's a couple of things there, but nothing really. I hadn't got to the juicy stuff. But when I was looking at it, it refreshed and this came up. And unfortunately, I didn't get to archive it. So I'm hoping someone else did. I should have. I know. I've got to learn to start archiving things soon as I get access. Archive it. Archive first. I've got to remember that. Always be archiving. ABA. We're going to start learning that acronym. But the Conservative House, or Conservative Tree House, has gone through and done an investigation into this guy, which might be why he's archived his posts. Because this is starting to get a little bit of traction, and this is a very, very interesting article. So let's jump into what they have to say. Martin Guino is a 75-year-old professional agitator and Antifa Provocateur who brags on his blog, I wonder if he's privated that, about the number of times he can get arrested and escape prosecution. Guino's Twitter account is also filled with anti-cop sentiment, seen here, which I have seen. I have seen that myself. I saw that before he privated it. Last Thursday, Guido travelled from his home in New York, which is what the article previously had said. He was from New York, so that's fine, to Buffalo to agitate a protest crowd. During his efforts, Guido was attempting to capture the radio communications signals of Buffalo police officers. CTH noted what he was attempting on Thursday night as soon as the now viral video was being used by the media selling a police brutality narrative. Today, a more clear video has emerged that shows exactly what he was attempting to do. And we will talk about this in a sec. In the slow motion video, you could see Guido using a phone as a capture scanner. You might have heard the term skimming, as it is essentially the same. Watch him use his right hand to first scan the mic of the officer, the one on top left, and then Guido moves his hand to the communication belt of the second officer. The capture of communication signals, explained here in detail, and we'll bring that up, is a method of police tracking used by Antifa to monitor the location of police. In these same cases, the more high-tech capture software can even decipher communications encryptions, allowing a professional agitators to block, black out, jam, or interfere with police communications. In addition, many police body cameras are Bluetooth enabled, which allows syncing. Unfortunately, in the modern era, the professional agitators have become very sophisticated and use technology to help create chaos. Their activity is highly coordinated, and as James O'Keefe has revealed in his undercover operation, these professionals even stage events to manipulate public opinion, which is something we'll talk about in the live stream later today. He's privated this too. I think. Is this privated? I'm not sure if this is... Yeah, I don't know how to use blogs. So, yeah. Here, well, I suppose it was not innocuous. He's attempting to either record the police tactical belt or skim the radio. You can download the software to your phone. It allows you to clone the frequency of a signal of a device. That appears to be what he's doing. Here's a pro tip I might get in trouble for sharing. The old days we called them bounty hunters, but in the modern vernacular they're trackers. Guys, girls who trace wanted people for a living. Okay, so it's the same tech. Alright. So when he was pushed away by the officer, Guido fell and presumably hit his head as a coincidence of the shove. The officers were suspended and the Buffalo authorities have arrested and charged 2 police officers. In a show of support, the entire Buffalo unit that made up the emergency response team has resigned in their position. On Friday, Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown admitted Guino was a professional agitator who tried to work up the crowd and had been asked to leave the area numerous times. However, despite the knowing ideology and intent of Mr. Guino, and despite a more careful look at the video highlighting exactly what Guino was attempting, the Buffalo authorities are frozen by political correctness and have now arrested and charged the 2 officers, which is why they're protesting. So he wrote here, F the police. So I didn't get to see that myself, but I didn't get that far down in his timeline. Is there any more? Like, F the police doesn't really... But anyway. So, let's have a look at the video again, right? And first of all, let's see their video. Because if they've doctored this video, it should be different on the New York Post, right? So let's see what he does in this video, and then we'll see what they do on the New York Post, and we'll compare the 2 videos, and we'll talk about it. So, they're claiming here. You can definitely see that. He is definitely holding a phone. He's waving it around, and then he moves it over the belt of the other officer. And then they've pushed him back. Okay, so you can definitely see him waving a mobile phone over the officer's communications. There's the radio up there there, and they're talking about communications on his belt. So let's see it again. Bingo, right over. Look, that's literally right next to the radio. Now, if it is a doctored video, it shouldn't happen here. This is the New York Times, right, or the New York Post, or news.com.au, sorry. So let's see what these guys, the New York Post, let's see what these guys have had to say. And let's see if it's in the video here. Yep, there it is. He's literally doing it. There's the mobile phone right there. You can see him waving it over the police. Bingo. They're right. He's doing it. Yeah. So obviously, look, it's very, very interesting that obviously they're claiming that this guy was, the whole narrative that was going around at the time was, look at this 75-year-old man. He'd been pushed to the ground by the police brutality, yada, yada, yada. But when you actually know what you're looking at and when you've actually been informed, you can actually clearly see what looks like him waving a mobile phone over the communication scanner or the communication device of the police department. Okay, and yeah, this to me looks as like it's this. The media, oh boy, you guys get so much wrong, don't you? You really, really do. But guys, yeah, look, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I find this very interesting, to say the least. Yeah, it's kind of interesting now, isn't it? It brings a whole new meaning to the, a whole new objective outcome. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think the police department. I don't think these 2 cops should be charged. Look, were they a bit rough with him? Maybe they pushed him to the ground. Maybe knowing who he is. Maybe they should have been a little bit more careful. But he's a professional agitator, according to this other article here, by the way. According to them, he's a professional agitator and he's a part of Antifa. He drove from New York to Buffalo. This article itself here says that he was from New York. I believe it was this one. New York. Setting off during a Buffalo protest in New York. So is it this one where it said he was from New York? Trying to find which one it was now. Can't find it now. One of them was saying about him being from New York. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I don't know, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If this is true, this article, and obviously we have to. It looks like it might be. Obviously, you know, we'll have to. This is. If this article is true, do you think the police department should have been charged? Do you think they were still heavy-handed with him, or do you think they should be released and put back on the job? To me, I don't know. Knowing what I know now, I don't think these cops did anything wrong. But Star Citizen just had an update. But at the end of the day, yeah, I find it very, very interesting. And I find it interesting if the mayor does know about this and he does know the whole situation, why he is still persisting on firing these two police officers. You know, I thought something was a little weird when the whole police force basically protested and has basically walked out over protest over this. So, yeah. I thought something was a little weird, but... So, guys, we actually do have... This story actually gets worse than what we originally thought. So, I actually thought we have found everything that we had to about this. But someone else is raising a very, very, very important question. So, someone's going through and saying that if you look at the back of his head, it looks a little weird. And they found this, and they found this device. And this. Now, when I first saw this, I thought it was a little weird that he was bleeding from the ears. I don't know. I want to know, and I've asked this on Twitter, did anyone do a DNA test on that blood that was on the ground? Has anyone gone through and seen if that was actually blood, or if that was fake blood that was put through some tube, which is what they're actually implying here, and if it was some tube and using fake blood to stage some sort of media attention or some sort of political event? If this is what he's actually done, if he has actually used this device, the police should be fully reinstated and he should be charged. But what they're claiming here is that he's gone through and he's used this device, and what it's done, it's some sort of blood feeder, right? It's some sort of fake blood feeder where it allows, they claim that these are the tubes here, this is the tubes, and these tubes run behind the back of the ear, and they allow you to basically have blood coming out of your ears. Now, we don't know if this is actually what's happened or not. I'd like to see if anybody did a DNA test on this to find out if that was actually true, or if it actually was fake gallon of blood, for example. But this is something that someone has actually raised in the question. And when you go through and you actually look at the video, it is a little weird about where the blood is actually coming out, right? When you actually zoom in, it's actually coming out of his ears. It actually comes out of his ears there. So that's definitely interesting too. Yeah, like, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is a possibility? Do you think this is something that's true? Do you think this is fake news? But yeah, this is something else is that I've just found out by doing some research into this, that someone is claiming that he's using this device. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below about this. What are your thoughts about him being a provocateur, a professional provocateur for Antifa? Do you think there's evidence to support it? Like I said, I was on his Twitter account and I was going through his timeline and he privated it. Soon as this story started getting traction, he privated the whole thing. So let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. There will be a live stream that is up in about half an hour. There's already a reminder going through at the moment, so that should be up for you guys. We're going to talk about the riots, and we're going to talk about how there's something not right about all these rioting. And we're going to shed some light on some of the weird stuff that's going on regarding these riots. But guys, apart from that, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new, channel welcome and subscribe. I really don't think Antifa. I really don't think YouTube is going to push this video, so it's going to be up to you guys to share it, comment, like, and that interaction. Get that interaction going. So at the end of the day, obviously, it helps the video get out there more. Apart from that, guys, I will see you in the live stream less than half an hour, and I have to have something to eat, so I better move. Have a great night. Talk to you guys soon.